Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am your host, Data T, and this is my channel, The Good Guys. Guys, today's story comes out of Chicago. I know many of you have seen this story. I know many people have commented on it. I wanted to wait. I'm not chasing news. I'm not chasing anything to be first to report on it. I'm not doing that. Okay, but I did want some time to pass before I formed my opinion and before I share it with you. So before I do that, guys, if you guys wouldn't mind leaving a like, leaving a comment, subscribe. Remember, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I know we can get there with your help. And you guys can hit me on Minds, on Twitter, and even on Truth Social. Okay, so I'm going to go through some things. I'm going to play what has happened here in the aftermath of her son and this mother who were in a self-defense shooting. I do believe it is self-defense. Okay. And I'll play the video. I'll play another video. Hopefully that video doesn't get removed. And then I'm going to give you my commentary, and then I'll show you some other things associated with the story. Okay? So let us begin.
Have been dropped. Joni is live to explain what we know so far. Joni?
Good morning. That woman and her son were charged, and now they are free. Video evidence became available. Investigators always say that video is instrumental. However, the Cook County State's attorney did not mention the video in her statement about dropping those charges. 35-year-old Carlishia Hood and her 14-year-old son faced murder charges for shooting Jeremy Brown during a violent confrontation in a Pullman restaurant. The woman was accused of ordering her son to shoot Brown. Video became public, giving more context to the incident. Brown is seen punching Hood several times. Her son walked in and saw her being assaulted. There's audio on that scene revealing Brown's threats. And one neighborhood resident said that he saw and he heard that video, and he sides with the woman.
She was terrified. She was in shock. You know, her mind wasn't right. He told her, on my grandmama, I'm going to knock you out. Knocked out meaning you're going to be unconscious. What if she didn't regain conscious? After her son shot him the first time and he ran down the street, what if he was running to his car to get a gun and come back and shoot back? Who knows?
Well, Hood's attorney says that Brown, the deceased, had a violent history targeting African-American women. The woman and her attorney are going to be talking at a news conference today. Reporting live, I'm Joni Lum.
Okay, guys, so I wanted to play that, and I wanted to give you, there is some context, and I want to give you more context, okay? It says here the charges were dropped against the mother and son in deadly Chicago restaurant shooting, and what had happened is once they had killed this particular individual in self-defense, in my opinion, okay, the police charged them and held them on even, I believe it was $3 million bail. Okay, I think this story got out. It came out that she was a black woman. Maybe she's a single mother. Most likely she is. And they dropped the charges. And people are in somewhat in uproar. There's some people that are for it. There are some people that are not. And I think it talks about mostly because of what she said to the son. But let us get some more context, and then I'm going to comment on it. Let's look at this video here. I want you guys to take a look at this. Okay, this is from Twitter. Okay, and this is what happened. This is Mrs. Hood here. This is her assailant. Okay, and I want you to see what happened here. Okay.
Get your food. Who? Get in the car. Who? Nay. Get your food. Get your food. If you say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Oh my grandma, say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out. Say one more thing, I'm gonna knock you out.
Oh, we got.
Get
Okay, so you saw that, right? It also sounded like we heard a gunshot, or maybe that was a door slamming. Who knows? Okay, there's a lot of things that could have happened in this time period. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. Before we get into even the son at all, in my opinion, as a woman, you are not supposed to be arguing with men in public. You ladies got to stop putting this masculine front in front of you, and especially black women. Okay, you should not be fighting a man, and when even in the terms of a physical, even verbally, soon as he raises his voice, you should be pipe down. You should demure yourself, and you should say, "Brother, I hear you," and walk away. Because for the simple fact, you can't fight a man. Period. Ladies, you need to understand this. And I'm going to tell you, I hope, I'm even wondering, did she have a firearm? Was she carrying herself? Okay, before even her son comes into the picture, which we know he came into the picture and shot this particular man and killed him, okay? How come she didn't have one? How come she didn't have a firearm? If she's so bad about it and be able to talk to a man and fight a man, why'd she call her son? Supposedly, Gus. Okay, we don't know that for a fact. Okay, I'm going to read an article and it's going to highlight some details, okay, about this story. All right, but I question this woman's motive of why in the first place she would even put herself and her child in this position. This is the problem that I have with this case. When you are a self-defender, when you have guns, you have to be cooler than the rest of the population. And this guy is clearly a hothead, saying that he's going to hit you. You end the conversation. You're like, "Hey, look, boss, I don't want any problems. I'm going to bounce." And you leave. Okay, I'm a big guy. I think I'm a pretty big guy, and even if I'm dealing with an individual and it gets to this point, I know I'm carrying a firearm. I know that I could probably, if he's not carrying a weapon, I'm probably not going to go to the firearm. I'll go to the pepper spray. I may go through a nightstick, something that can help me to get him off him and get him away. But my folks, I'm telling you, this is a situation where you should not let it get here. Okay, so let's go to the story. Let's see what this says here. Okay. Says here, Chicago mom accused of telling son to shoot man sues police after murder charges dropped. So she is suing the police. I wonder for how much money. Okay. It says here, Chicago woman accused of telling her teen son to shoot a man at a hot dog stand when a man attacked her is suing the city and members of its police force after murder charges against her and her son were dropped. Carlishia Hood is 35 years old, held on $3 million bail. Okay, I wonder if they do that for all of the self-defenders, or is it just her? Okay, because this part, I tell you, it is quite unfair. Okay, at the Cook County Jail after she was charged last week with first-degree murder and contributing to the delinquency of a minor in connection of the June 18th shooting death of Jeremy Brown, 32 years old. Hood was released from jail on Monday after Cook County State Attorney Kim Fox dismissed the charges and her teenage son. That same day, prosecutors told USA Today the state was unable to meet our burden of proof in the prosecution. Okay, a tort lawsuit filed by Hood on Tuesday in Cook County names the city of Chicago, 5 police officers, and alleges false arrests, malicious prosecution, and emotional distress. Of course, emotional distress. Okay? I have experienced pain in many ways that I would never have thought, the Associated Press reported Hood said after the charges were tossed. What happened to me was totally unnecessary. Never in a million years would I have imagined being brutally attacked, beaten, and then being arrested. Okay? Prosecutors have said Hood has a valid firearms owner identification card and a concealed permit. So why didn't this woman pull out her firearm? Why? Why did the son have to come in there and shoot this man? This is the moral problem. This is the moral dilemma. I blame her. She should have been able to fight this man. I don't give a damn if she's a woman or not. Okay? We keep saying, oh, hey, female empowerment. Where is it? Where was her firearm? She has the ability. It says she has the identification and the carry conceal permit. Why didn't she have her gun on her? Now check this out. This is the part where the son gets involved, okay? Now it says here, a signal, an attack, and shots fired. On the night of the shooting, surveillance video released by Chicago police shows Hood and her son arrived at the hot dog stand, okay? According to court documents, Hood entered the business to get food while her son waiting in the Lincoln. Shortly after, Brown entered the restaurant and an argument broke out. Of course, we know that, okay? Video footage from a cell phone posted on social media over the weekend shows men, and that's the one that we saw, guys, okay? Her punching and assaulting Hood, right? Now, says here, prosecutors, so this is verified in court, that Hood texted the 14-year-old son who was outside to come inside the restaurant. Why? Why did she do this? You fathers out there, I'm going to ask you a question. You're getting in an argument with another man or another woman. Do you call your daughter to come inside the restaurant? You don't do that. This is the moral problem with this woman. What she did, she put her son in a place of danger. She was the one that put her son in a compromised position. In my opinion, she's a terrible mother. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? If this is, I don't know if she has more children, but if this is her only son, you do this? I'm sorry, folks. She's a bad mom. This is unintendable. This is unconscionable, and she shouldn't have done this. This is the moral problem. Why would you bring your son in a crazy position, especially when you're getting assaulted? What would happen if the 32-year-old turned his attention from the mom to the son and beat the crap out of him? He's how old? He's only 14. If we go through the rest of the story, guess what it says? Her son entered the store, pulling out a gun, and shot the man, who police identified as Brown. The pair then followed Brown as Hood told the teen to continue shooting. What the fuck? Why did this child at 14 years old have a gun? Okay, now I'm going to tell you, it is my opinion that I have no problem with children being armed. The Constitution does not put out an age limit, okay? In my opinion, there are plenty, especially in the gun culture, folks, there are plenty of fathers and mothers who purchase firearms and they give them to their children at a young age. Even I myself plan to do that, okay? I plan on making sure that guns are a part of our culture in our own family, okay? So many people in my family don't really mess with guns, but I plan to change that, okay? But at the ripe age where they are responsible, I have no problem with them carrying guns. 14, 15, 16 years old? Of course you can. I don't want them carrying it to school. That's another issue. But I got to tell you, I have no problem with them being armed. But I'm going to tell you something. I would not, especially if they're with me. I think my personal decision is, if I have a child with me, even at the age of 14, or even if I believe that they are responsible to carry a firearm, 14, 16 years old, I can leave my guns unlocked in my house because they know the value of firearms, they understand their importance, and they understand the dangers associated with it. I don't want them to carry. I think, personally, I wouldn't want my daughter to carry the firearm while she's with me. My job is to protect her, to make sure that she is not even in that position. Now, there have been many cases where children come to the aid of parents, come to the aid of their other siblings, and then also come to the aid of, and also self-protect themselves. Okay? But I'm going to tell you, the mother put this boy in this position. She should be prosecuted, in my opinion, for reckless endangerment. That's what she should be charged for. It's on record that the prosecutors, they said she texted her son to come into the restaurant. Fuck that, bro. She's a bad mom. She shouldn't have done that. Okay? And it says here, my life changed. If I keep going down to for the rest of the article, according to court documents, Hood is represented by attorney Brandon Brown. He could not immediately be reached by USA Today. Okay, no problem. On June 18th of this year, my life changed. My son's life changed, which you had a hand in. You facilitated that. You did that. She should have called her husband, in my opinion. That I wouldn't have a problem with. If she called her husband to come into the restaurant. That actually, she should have done that. And I tell you what, if she was a real good woman, you know what she would have done? She wouldn't have called her husband. She would have left, not said a word to that man, got into the car and tell her husband about it. And then you convince your husband, please don't go in there. Don't create a scene. I don't want to lose you. And tell your husband, you don't need to do anything. Let's go. I think only husbands should react in the moment. If she's a good woman and she comes out and she says to the husband, hey, this is what happened to me. I just want to let you know. The husband should have sound mind and leave. But in the moment, if he was there, then yes, he's got to do something. He has to. He has to protect his wife. But I remember when Kevin Samuel said that some of these women have son husbands. I remember this. Maybe that's what this boy is to her. Maybe she doesn't have a man around. So that 14-year-old boy is taking the place of husband. And she calls him in there. And this boy shoots. Okay? And I'm going to tell you, the problem, I don't have a problem with that. Because guess what? He's protecting his mom. He's protecting his mom. Of course you would do that. But why wasn't the mother protecting her son? This is the problem that I have. She's a bad mom, and now this woman is on a GoFundMe trying to raise money, which her goal was $15,000. Okay, she raised it. Okay, she raised $15,000. Okay, this says mom and son with emergency temporary shelter. Okay, she's probably going to. I don't know if she's going to do another GoFundMe. I don't know if she's going to Who knows how much money she will get from this case? I think she probably is going to get millions of dollars. The city will settle. They will settle. They will try to get as much as they can. It will happen. But guys, I'm going to tell you, this woman is a bad mother. What she did was terrible. She should be charged. Reckless endangerment of her children, of her son. What she did was very bad. Okay? Guys, that's what I have on this case. And that is the moral problem with this story, with this woman. Okay? What she did, in my eyes, a good mother does not do this. I know she was getting hit. I know she was getting, but boss, no. It would have been one thing if she didn't text her son and the son came in and we didn't even talk about the tactics. I mean, the tactics of them going to follow this man out wasn't smart. The particular person and the older and the first video and this video here talked about, hey, he could have been going to the car to get a gun. That's absolutely correct. But at least you are in ability to defend if he was to come back into the establishment. Okay? You don't go looking for trouble. And there are other cases here. There are other things here that I didn't even mention. Things like apparently it was even said that the woman, Miss Hood, was even calling for her son to shoot the girlfriend. You know, there were other calls they were saying, and I can't confirm it, but they were also talking about shoot him until he's dead or kill him. I mean, really? What kind of mother is this? She is not the mother of the year, okay? She isn't, by no standards, okay? She is a bad parent. Okay, I could go on and I could keep going on, but I think you guys get the gist of what I'm saying, okay? This is the moral problem, all right? I hope other people have understood what I'm saying. If you don't understand, I am glad to talk about it. You can hit me on any social media and I will gladly tell you my feelings and explain my case. Good people should have guns, guys. All people, mothers, I'm not opposed to them having firearms. I'm not opposed to her giving her son a firearm, but not in this context where he is carrying a firearm around while they go to eat. No, me personally, I'm not for that, even though maybe I am, because I don't have a problem with some of these kids who are responsible carry firearms. I just don't like the position she put her son in. Okay, so good people carry guns. Good people should always carry guns, because if good men did nothing, there will be no good guys.